In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Marianne's guests are leaders in their field, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in their own work. They teach others to develop, refocus, and grow. Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. And remember, make every moment count.
Welcome to Moments with Marianne. I'm so excited we're going to be spending this time here today. We've got such a show lined up. Our first guest, Dr. Irene Collins, is here today to talk to us about what she's really good about, which is self-improvement. And she's got a great show called the Self-Improvement Radio Show. So she's the go-to person on that. So welcome to the show, Irene.
Thank you, Marianne. I'm delighted to be here.
Oh, it's so great to have you here. So, I know a lot of people follow your show. I enjoy listening to your show as well. And so it's a great honor to have you here and spend this time together today. And I have to ask you, so what started you on this whole path of having the self-improvement radio show and the, I know you also are a part of the blog. What started you on that path?
Well, I've been in nursing all my life, in some capacity or other, mainly in administration. But at some point, I decided I needed to retire. Mm-hmm. I did that, and I didn't like it. And so I needed some other things to do. I learned to do hypnotherapy, started a hypnotherapy practice. And then when I retired from that, my son was building blogs, and he said, let's build you a blog. And I said, well, yeah, but on what? And he said, oh, I don't know, self-improvement or something like that. He said, that's what you're good at. So we started the blog, and then he was helpful in starting Voice America in the early beginning, and then left. And I was in touch with them all along, and when they started getting bigger, they said, we want you to do a show. And so the rest is history. I've been doing it for 6 years now.
Oh, my goodness. So, why self-improvement? I know that's, a direction that people go into, but you really have made that topic blossom. Why did you choose that overall?
Well, we usually start things that we need ourselves. And there were so many things that I wanted to learn and do and know about and change within myself, that seemed a good way to go. And then I found there were a lot of other people wanting to do the same thing, get control of anger, for example, or get control of habits that they didn't want, different areas that they wanted to improve in, to be happier. We all want to be happy. Mm-hmm. And some of the things that we carry are like overloaded baggage. And if we can start trimming them off or, replacing them with a better habit or, a new skill, then we move ourselves a little further into this whole happiness arena. We feel better about ourselves and we feel better about how we interface with other people.
So what are some self-improvement tools that you've learned over all this time doing your show that have really stuck out to you?
Well, I think meditation is probably the most important, and it's the one that I work hardest at. Some of us have minds that never shut off, and just to get them to calm down a little is very helpful. But by and large, it's in meditation that you become aware of who you are, what you want. I call meditation the clarifier. It helps you. It really helps you with your self-awareness, and without self-awareness, you have no idea what to improve or how to go about it. So I think meditation is probably the key self-improvement tool. A lot of people won't do it because they think it's a religious thing, and it really isn't. It's a self kind of thing. We all need to be quiet now and then and reflect on who we are and where we're going. Another one that I find really wonderful is hypnosis and self-hypnosis. We're not talking about that as much these days as we used to, but it's a very powerful tool, and a way that reveals some of your inner thinking, your inner motivation to you in a fairly easy way. Now, go ahead.
No, I was kind of curious about that because you don't hear about the self-hypnosis, really. I've heard about it, but it's not really discussed a whole lot.
It's really just a simple little technique to help you get in touch with your subconscious mind. And if you've gone to a hypnotherapist and had hypnotherapy, it's much easier because you know what it feels like in that place. It basically is, a brainwave level. And one thing I have found that is extremely helpful in that is brainwave entrainment. There's a wonderful group called Project Meditation, the Life Flow. I think Life Flow is their major company. That has some really wonderful meditations and brainwave training programs to help you do that. It helps you learn what it feels like in a theta state and other brainwave states, so you know where you are when you're working with self-hypnosis. Am I really in hypnosis or not? To me, there's a lot of them on the internet. If you Google brainwave entrainment, you'll find pages of different companies that do it. I have found Project Meditation to be on the forefront, and what I feel like is reliable. They work really hard to keep their programs exactly what they say they are. There's several out there, and it's like shopping for something that fits you. It may not work for everyone. It's my favorite. But, try a few. There's a lot of them that are free. And I would suggest everybody try this one. It's so good. Brainwave entrainment. Excellent.
So there's meditation, brainwave entrainment, and then we've got self-hypnosis. Do you have any other self-help tools, self-improvement tools?
Journaling is almost a critical tool. It's your way to keep track of your own progress. And you may not think you're making progress, but let's say you started working on your habit of judgment, always being critical, always judging everybody else. That's for an example. And you journal about it the day you decide you want to work on that, and you work on it for a few months, and you're journaling all along. And in the 2 or 3 months later, you may come back and read your first writings and say, "Hey, you know what? I really have come a ways. I'm doing better. I still need to work on this and this and this, but I'm doing better." And it's just a way to give yourself a pat on the back for one thing, and to have some kind of input as to your progress. Journaling is almost as high on the list as meditation, but not quite, unless you're somebody who teaches journaling.
Well, and that's really interesting to use that as a technique. I've never really quite heard it that way, where you could, for the judgment piece, where you can journal to work yourself through that whole process.
Yeah, how many times have I been really picky and judgmental today? Is a good question if you're working on that. Who have I judged today? What did I do in my own mind, even if I didn't say something? Did I look at somebody and say, "Oh, she's too old, she's too whatever"? That's passing a judgment on someone else that you really don't need to do. And if you find that you've gone a whole day without doing that, pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Write it in your journal. Yippee, I made it a whole day without ripping somebody apart in my mind.
Well, and it's that inner critic is really it's a reflection of us, how we feel about ourselves if we're criticizing everyone around us,
Exactly. And there are all of the tools can be used for any single piece that you want to improve. A lot of people are working on different habits. I often wish that the people I meet on the freeway would learn to control their road rage.
Yeah.
Work on some of those anger problems. We see it all the time, and you wonder what the stresses of their day are, and what would happen if they really went on a self-improvement program to curb some of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting because then we get into that criticism in regards to where other people should be, as opposed, and that's such a great practice in the journaling, as opposed to that's where they are, they're at whatever stage of their spiritual development, and it really doesn't matter either way because I'm following my own path,
Exactly, It kind of goes to the saying, what other people think of me is none of my business. But the reverse of that is what other people are doing is none of my business either.
Yeah.
Unless they ask me for help.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
It is. It'll get you, It really will get you there. So, so I've got to ask you, okay, so a lot of people, they're like, why would I do self-improvement if it's just going to make me miserable? Why the heck would I do that?
Well, you know what? My response to that would be, if it's going to make you miserable, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're really happy the way you are right now, then be happy the way you are right now. Maybe other people don't respond to you as positively as you would like. Maybe you need to take a look at that. Mm-hmm. But if you're absolutely happy the way you are, maybe self-improvement isn't good for you right now. And if you get all stressed out about your self-improvement, you're probably not going to be improving in that area. Maybe you need to work on some stress management first, which is a part of self-improvement. We're all doing self-improvement even though we don't put a label on it. Hey, I really would like to learn another language. That's self-improvement. I need to go on a diet so my clothes fit better. That's self-improvement. I want to learn more about the chakras. Hey, that's self-improvement. Almost anything we go about learning to change the way we do things or how much we know or what we enjoy, it all comes under this arena. It doesn't have to have the label self-improvement on it.
Mm-hmm. Now, what if you come across somebody and they are like, well, I think I'm just fine the way I am, and I don't need to do any self-improvement. And even though we were just talking about how, doing these simple things is a constant, there's that constant flow. Do you think at some point people just really get to the point where they're like, I need to make change because, all I'm doing is, verifying the definition for insanity by doing the same thing over and over again.
In my life, I'm treading water. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people do. And I think some of that comes when we change from being what we would call a young person to middle-aged to older, because some of the things we did in the stage before just don't work anymore. And what do I need to change now to be happy where I am? Maybe, for me, I used to hang out at the gym a lot. I was always working on, how I looked and how I felt and all of those things. Well, at my age, that's really hard. So what do I do now to keep fit? It's different. Mm-hmm. And so I need to change the way I think about it. I'm not in a workplace situation anymore. So how do I improve my relationships with the people that I do interface with on a daily basis? I think looking at how you interface with the people that you're with or that you meet all the time is a good indicator of what kind of self-improvement work you need to do. Because if you find that you go into a little group of people and they all turn and leave, you have some self-improvement work to do.
Yeah, just a little bit there.
A little bit.
Or if you're hanging out with a lot of people and all they're doing is constantly complaining or picking on other people or criticizing, where are some of the people that we spend our time with? And so it would take some reflection, to say, gosh, is this what I really want to have my life be like and what I'm looking to cultivate in my life?
Well, when you think about how powerful your thoughts are to create your day, to create your life, and you're hanging around negative people who are putting negative thoughts in your mind, maybe you need to find somebody to talk with that's more positive. Mm-hmm. It's okay to leave the old friends who are always in a pity party, are always in the woe is me frame of mind or criticizing everything, and find new friends who are upbeat or positive. Maybe you can bring them up too if you need to. Maybe they're your family. Maybe you need to say, hey, let's don't do all that carping and criticizing. Let's talk about something positive. And some of them will do a double take and say, well, what do you mean?
Yeah.
You can't change them, but you can certainly say, hey, this doesn't work for me. Mm-hmm. And you're responsible for yourself. You're the only one that can do the changing. Nobody else can change you. You can go for therapy, but if you don't do the changing yourself, the therapy is not going to work.
Well, it's really, I agree with you 100% because it's that personal journey, So
yeah, you're responsible for your life. You're responsible for creating your day, your hour, whatever's happening with you right now. And living in the moment, by the way, is another really good tool. Mm-hmm. Living in the moment. What are you doing with the moment? Are you bogged down in misery, or are you going to get out of it and do something about it? Is where self-improvement really is at its best. When you realize that, the way you're responding or what you're thinking or how you're feeling is not leading you to a place of happiness.
Yeah. Well, and so that kind of brings me to my next question. So if you have someone that comes up and says, hey, I have a really happy life, how much self-improvement do I need?
I would say, if you have a really happy life, as the Kiwis say, good on you. Mm-hmm. Good for you. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. You may find some things that you want to do that could come under the self-improvement arena in terms of finding new things to do, new ways to express yourself. But if you're absolutely happy, fantastic. Say, hey, I'm happy, and just enjoy it. Rumi says the soul is here for its own joy.
Yeah.
And if you reach that place of joy, then bask in it. You don't need me. Bask in it.
Well, and I think a lot of times too, we go, it's really to try to keep that even keel. A lot of times we're going, through the peaks and valleys of our lives and not really, regardless what's going on around us, not really able to maintain that just steady flow, because really when you find that inner peace, it doesn't matter what's going on around you. It's just that, you're not letting it affect you. It's like, oh, okay, well, I need to take care of this,
Yeah,
so it's a to-do list.
I can take care of this, but the bliss or the joy doesn't leave you. Mm-hmm. And when you do get sidetracked and get off into it, you quickly realize, oh, something's wrong here. What do I need to do to correct this? You just get yourself back on course. I wish I could say that I was always on course, but, hey, I have the self-improvement show and the self-improvement blog, but I still get sidetracked with stuff.
I think everyone does.
Sure. And it's a normal thing. It's called being human. Mm-hmm. And it's, you don't need to beat yourself up over it. Just, hey, I'm off track. How do I get back on? Oh, I see what I've been doing. And it just kind of calmly, get back into where you want to be.
Yeah, it really is. The whole self-improvement journey is exactly that. And interesting, once you conquer, let's say, fear. I used to have a fear of heights until I went rock climbing. And then, so you conquer one fear, and then it may show up in a different way, or another fear may show up. You have these different things that show up for you to go ahead and work through as a person, as a spirit,
Exactly, and if you've accomplished it if you've overcome it in one area, you have some tools to work with when you see it come up again someplace else. Mm-hmm. I know this one. Here's what I used before when I had fear. Let's see if it works this time. Let's do a little meditation on fear today. I'm feeling it. It's important. In this whole self-improvement area, self-awareness is key. If you aren't aware that you're fearful, and some people just deny it all over the place, I'm not afraid of anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are. Most of us are anyway. And how do you deal with it? And what are your tools? What do you have in your toolkit to deal with it?
Yeah, and it's really finding those areas where it could be fear, it could be like how you were talking earlier, maybe doing things that aren't really healthy for us, maybe overeating, when people indulge in anything.
One of the things that I found to be most interesting, especially when I had my therapy practice, were the people who couldn't answer the question, would you rather be right or happy? Some people would rather, I had a couple men say, I'd rather be right. I have to be right. Well, if being right keeps you from being happy, then what?
That's
I'd still rather be right. and it's an interesting question. Would you rather be right or happy? And what is right for you? What does that mean? Most people can't answer that. What is right? And mainly, what is right for me is something that I want to impose on everybody else around me. Mm-hmm. And then I'm in control. Control is a big one.
Yeah. And that's just actually an illusion in itself.
Yeah, the only person you can really control is yourself, and some of us don't do too well with that.
Yeah, and then, the added responsibility of trying to control somebody else, good luck with that, because that's, and really when we look at a person with personal responsibility, it all kind of boils down even to the soul level, where we take responsibility for our actions, our environment, and learn and grow from there. So it's quite a journey. So we've got a few minutes left, and this is such a juicy discussion. What other thoughts do you want to leave our listeners with on this topic of self-improvement?
Oh, I would say, if you don't meditate, start. Look on the internet, find something that works for you. Try several different types of meditation until you come to something that feeds your soul. Mm-hmm. And, begin to be aware. Why do you think the thoughts you think? Why did you say such and such to that person? What in you made you say, whatever it is you said that made them unhappy? What's going on within you? What kind of pressure are you carrying in there? Meditation is the place to find it, and then begin to work on that area. Every time you make a little progress in one area, it seems, of self-improvement, it impacts every other area. but be kind to yourself. Be kind, be gentle with yourself. Most of us would like to go and, just rip everything apart and fix it all at once. And it doesn't work that way. And maybe the most important thing we have to work with is a sense of humor. Look at yourself with love and with humor and gentleness before you start on a self-improvement program. And I'm writing a blog post right now on, create your day gently. Be gentle with yourself. Fall in love with yourself. Find your strengths. All the good things about yourself before you begin to change the things that you're not pleased with. We all have some really wonderful qualities that we need to be aware of. Find them.
Well, Irene, and before actually I get to my next comment, where can our listeners find you?
They can find me at theselfimprovementblog.com. It's all one word, theselfimprovementblog.com. There's a contact page there. They can reach me there. They can listen to the radio show. Well, you can find it through the blog as well. I'm getting ready to put something up on the blog called 7 Hacks to Happy, which, they might be interested in. I'm just putting the finishing touches on that and would love to have people come and visit and, come next week and grab that. And
that's exciting. I'm looking forward to that. And, Irene, I have to say, I really learned, I always love chatting with you. We have such a great time talking and connecting. And
it's always wonderful to be on with a radio sister.
Well, I learned something new every time I connect with you. And today was not an exception. It was, I really like that, journaling about things that are something we want to work on. And I'm actually going to do that. I have not done that one, so I'm going to give that a go.
It's a very powerful tool.
It must be because of all the writing that's done with it. And I'm really kind of excited to give that a go. So, and I'm sure it works. I mean, I've done other practices similar, not quite that. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So
cool.
Yeah. Irene, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us today.
Marianne, thank you so much for having me. We'll have to have you back on my show again soon, too. We could make this a habit.
We'll have way too much fun then.
Yes, way too much fun. You can't have too much fun.
No, we can't have that. Not in self-improvement. That's all about fun.
Oh, actually. Yeah, you can.
I knew you would get me on that one. So, anyway, we're going to pause here for a quick break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Internationally recognized and award-winning author Judy Goodman works and teaches outside the box of limited thinking. Working with people from every walk of life, her goal is to empower you to be the best you can be, no matter what the challenge is. Born with the gift of seeing beyond our normal vision, she has an extraordinary gift of working with every challenge. Teaching beyond conventional wisdom, her work is described as life-changing. Visit judygoodman.com. That's judygoodman.com.
There comes a moment when you realize you're somewhere special, when you discover that each beautiful creature that you see has been rescued from a life of absolute horror and brought to this incredibly free place. Here's where their lives were forever changed and where yours will as well. Discover over 500 tigers, bears, and lions at the brand new visitor center at the Wild Animal Sanctuary just outside Denver. For more information, visit wildanimalsanctuary.org. Discover true freedom at the Wild Animal Sanctuary.
Have you ever had the sense that your thoughts might actually be doing something? Ancient secrets of manifesting have been masterfully revealed in the award-winning book Manifesting 1, 2, 3 by Ken Elliott. For the first time, the author's experiences and stories in this book describe exactly how your thoughts can create anything. You've been doing this all your life, but it's never been fully explained for you until now. Visit manifesting123.com for more information today. Manifesting123.com.
Ben Wexler is a gifted leadership development and strategy consultant for professionals who want to transform their organizations and careers. Through a uniquely personalized set of processes, participants discover their unique knowledge, how to leverage that knowledge and experience, and then put it all together with a global strategy. You're more valuable, your organization is more valuable, and the change is viral. Contact Ben at 630-881-1074. 630-881-1074.
He's the change management expert, interrupting ordinary lives and making them extraordinary. John Register, experiential keynote speaker, went from track and field Olympic trials candidate and Gulf War Army veteran through a career-ending injury, an amputation, to winning the Paralympic long jump silver medal in Sydney, Australia. Now he shows business executives and college sports professionals how to turn obstacles into opportunities. Book John to speak to your group. Kick off your New Year resolve to create the new normal at johnregister.com.
Welcome back to Moments with Marianne. So, is it possible for the angels and the Zodiac to work together? We're going to find out here in just a minute with Patricia Papps as she talks to us about her new book, Angels of the Zodiac, Divine Guidance Through Your Sun Sign. So, welcome to the show, Patricia.
Yeah, thank you for listening to me.
Well, hey, thank you, Patricia. So I saw this book was just released, and so I was very excited to connect with you and talk with you about this.
Right.
Okay. Well, and so I've got to ask you, so what inspired you to write Angels of the Zodiac?
Well, I'm very interested in the Zodiac, and I'm very interested in angels. I've got quite a connection with angels, and the idea just came to me that it was a very interesting thing to get into.
Okay. Well, I know that you are a very well-known artist and have been, into, fairies and goddesses and angels and flowers for some time. When you started the project of this book, was it a couple years in the making, or was it something that came to you just right away?
It was a couple of years in the making. It was quite in detail. I did quite a lot of research into the Zodiac and into angels and the Zodiac. And I did quite a lot of meditation on the subject to get inspiration, which I think came directly from the angels.
Well, and so when you were doing your meditations, and we'll talk about that in a minute, how our listeners can connect with their angels of the Zodiac, but when you were, gaining your inspiration for this book, you would sit and meditate, and would certain angels come and talk to you? How did that work?
I meditated, and the ideas came into my head. Through the meditation, I got inspiration from them. And the more I studied angels, the more I could see the connection between angels and zodiac signs.
And they just kind of stood out for you there, so it was easy to see, this angel works with this, with this zodiac sign, because they have that complementary features. Yes,
that's right.
So, and what are some ways that our listeners can connect with angels of the Zodiac?
I give details in my book about meditating with each angel, But to connect with an angel is a very simple matter. You don't need to sit and, you just need to sit and relax. You don't need to sit in the lotus position or anything like that if that's uncomfortable for you. Just sitting in a chair and relaxing and imagining an angel standing in front of you. And then imagine yourself being flooded with light from the angel. And this will connect you to that angel.
Now, is this the practice?
Imagination is a good tool because it's affirming your confidence and your belief in the angel.
Okay. And so is there a repetition in this practice to really strengthen that connection with the angel, or is it one time's all we need? What would you recommend?
Well, there's 4 angels for each zodiac sign. And you can choose which one to work with, or you can work with all of them. Each zodiac sign has a special angel. And I'll give you an example on Pisces, because I'm Pisces. So we'll go with that one.
Okay.
There's a special angel for each zodiac sign, and there's also a color ray for each zodiac sign, and there's an angel for the color ray, and there's a special lesson that each person is incarnated to learn through their zodiac sign, and there's a special angel for that. And then there's the planet that the zodiac sign is under, like the Pisces. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, and there's a special angel of Neptune that you can meditate with. Okay. And that applies to all the signs of the zodiac. There'll be different angels, of course, for each zodiac sign. You'll have to forgive me if I clear my throat, because I'm suffering from a sore throat at the moment.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, I'm glad that throughout not feeling so great that you took this time to be with us here. Now, I know that you talk about the color rays. What is that, and how did that get determined into the different zodiac signs?
Well, each sign has a color ray that it's working under.
And what is a color ray? Is that like a like a ray of the rainbow, and what makes that specific?
Yes, that's a good way of describing it. It's the color ray that sign is working on, because the color rays have magical importance in our lives. Like for Pisces, the color ray is the turquoise ray, which is about communication, particularly between the spirit and the mind. And each sign will have its own color ray that it's working under. Like for Aries, they're working under the red ray, which brings energy.
Okay.
And
so we have
initiation on the spiritual path.
Oh, okay. So we have the color rays, we have the angels that are associated with the sign, and then during our meditations we're connecting with this, and it's giving us information and really connection so we can get those answers.
Yes. The angels of the zodiac signs, the angels are working in harmony with the power of your zodiac sign. So this brings in a deeper level of understanding to your consciousness. And the angels, I think, can bring miracles into our lives. And that's why it's so good to be working with them. It's like having a close friend who can work miracles in your life.
Well, we like that. Who doesn't like having a close friend you can work miracles with, you know? Oh my goodness. Well, and so like I'm a Libra, so I'm looking at Tazoriel. It's the angel's courage. And so, when I do my meditation, I'll connect with this angel, and it will help me to develop, I guess, greater levels of courage in my life?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because we all have difficulties and challenges in our life, and I think the angel of Libra, Zodiac, will bring you that courage to face up to your challenges and help you to see where you want to go and what you want to do in your life.
Okay. And is this, for angels of the Zodiac, so is it important, let's say someone's going to be dating or they have a husband or kids, does this help gain them greater wisdom and knowledge in regards to that person and how they can best connect with them?
Yes, you can do that if you meditate with the angel, or if you can meditate with the angels of other signs if you wish to. And because the angels of other signs might bring something to you that doesn't come into your own sign.
Okay. So they'll give us a message that we would be able to use in regards to, let's say, if I had children and I'm having problems with connecting with one of them, I'm not quite sure what's going on, then I could connect with their angel and ask for help and guidance.
Yes, that's a very good idea. Yes. As I said, you can just sit quietly and imagine the angel. The colour angel, I think, is the best one to go for. And
why is that?
The colour angel is closely associated with your higher consciousness. So if you meditate on the colour angel of, say, your child, you should be able to learn how to alleviate the difficulties.
Okay. During the time that you were writing this book, was there anything that kind of stood out that you were surprised about?
Not that I was surprised about, but I did find it very fascinating. And the more I got into it, the more I learned as a person. And I did the meditations myself, and I found them very powerful. They were very powerful meditations.
So you got to travel around the Zodiac then, huh?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Well, and so you were able to really put that to practice then with connecting with other angels that weren't specifically within your sign to see how that would gain other wisdom and knowledge.
Yes. I wanted to make sure that I had the right angels for each zodiac sign.
Now, I know that,
And I found that meditating with all the different angels certainly gave me a lot of knowledge. And I find I was attuned to the basic needs of each sign.
I find that to be very fascinating, and I like how at the end of the book you have a little description of the angels, so it's easy to kind of pop over there and learn a little bit more about each of the angel and what they bring.
Yes. As I said, you don't have to stay with the angels exclusively of your own sign. If another angel appeals to you, then it's quite all right to work with that angel of another sign.
Now, is this information what you've been using with your own clients and people that you connect with, over the years, and it just is kind of a combination of information that makes it a lot easier for the rest of us also who want to learn a little bit more about this.
Yes. I've been meditating for about 20 years, and I've had a little group, and we worked on angels together. And I find that most fascinating, learning from other people how they related to angels and the sort of experiences they had, and the inspiration that they get from angels. I find very fascinating. I think that's what angels bring into your life. They bring you inspiration and a higher level of understanding, so that we can create the sort of life that we really want to be living.
Well,
angels bring understanding of where we are in life, and through their presence you can find ways of improving your life in many ways, because angels raise our awareness to a high level of consciousness, so that we can see, our mistakes and how to deal with them.
Yeah, it gives us some just a greater insight into how maybe we can handle things a little differently or perceive things differently.
Yes, that's a very good way of putting it.
So when you were writing this book and getting it all together, what was a couple of things that kind of popped out to you that were kind of curious during, this exploration that you did?
Well, I suppose it was investigating my own sign. I found that the angels and the lessons they'd come to bring me fitted in exactly with what I needed. One of the angels for Pisces is the angel of self-confidence. That's a special angel of Pisces. And I think that's what I need, some self-confidence.
Don't we all? So
and,
I think
the colour.
Yeah.
Sorry. The colour sign I found for Pisces was the turquoise ray, and turquoise is one of my favourite colours. In fact, I use it in my paintings quite a lot.
Yeah, I saw at your website you have just some amazingly beautiful paintings. How long have you been doing that?
Oh, for many years now. I started off as an illustrator. I illustrated children's books, and I did my own personal paintings as well. And I was very inspired to paint angels and fairies, and that got me very interested in angels. And I was doing meditation at the time, so that's how the two got together, really, in my life.
It just seems like it was a perfect fit with everything going on there.
Yes.
Oh, so now do you offer sessions where people, let's say if they're like, well, I've connected with my angels, but I think I need a little bit more help, or I want to be able to, just have someone kind of guide me through the process. Do you do any of those kind of things?
I will do that for people if they ask, yes.
So you do provide sessions. People can go ahead and purchase a session with you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, as I said, I've experienced most of the meditations for each sign, so I think I'm quite attuned to the vibrations of each sign.
Now, when you connected with your own angel sign and you kind of dove into that, I'm sure that there's probably some insights that the angels had that you're like, oh, well, I wasn't expecting that. That's kind of cool. Because it's always interesting, the insights that they'll give as opposed to what we kind of perceive.
Yeah. Yeah, I find that the lesson that Pisceans have incarnated to learn is mastery of your emotions, and that took me by surprise. I thought it was very apt, because I do tend to get my emotions out of control at times.
Now, would you say that that's kind of across the board, like a general thread through all Pisces, or was that just something that really kind of resonated with you?
I think it was find that most Pisceans are very emotional people, and they need tranquility and some peace in their lives. And I found that meditating with the particular angel of mastery, which is Barchiel, he will guide you to control your emotions more and bring more tranquility and happiness to your life.
Oh, what a nice place that would be, with having a little bit more of that. And I can see where each of the symbols for the different signs really would make an impact. Like, let's say, like Virgo, and their angel is for serenity.
Yes. Serenity is having complete trust in your inner soul, in your spirit, so to speak, that higher part of you that is one with the divine. Serenity comes when you've got your lower self in harmony with your higher self. Then you have true serenity. If you have the belief in your higher self and its power to bring the right things into your life, I think then you will have true serenity.
Now, you said that for each of the signs there are 4 angels. How did the number 4 come up? Was that just how they appeared, or was there something specific with that?
No, that's just how they appeared.
And so for each one, they had their separate, for like one would be for color, and there's one that you start off with.
Yes, the angel of there's a special angel for each sign, and that brings its own lesson. And there's the colour ray, and the planet, and the special lesson that you've incarnated to learn.
Now, I know most people who are really gifted, after a while they've connected with their angels and they've been doing it for some time, they don't really need to go into that meditative state to do it. Is that something that, I'm sure you're just kind of tuned into them as we speak, right?
Yes, I often just sit and imagine an angel in front of me. If I need some, bit of inspiration, or I need a bit of tranquility, I imagine an angel flooding me with light. I find that very easy to do now, because I've practiced it many times.
Yeah.
And it's very simple to do. And by imagining it, it's you're confirming your belief in angels. And so the angel is actually there, even though you may be thinking, oh, I'm only just imagining it. The angel is actually there for you. Because our imagination is very powerful. And it's affirming that belief in angels.
It brings everything back to home, because everything starts with thought anyway. I mean, they've been talking about that for some time with The Secret and Law of Attraction, what have you. So if we're bringing these angels in, imagining that they're there, we'll definitely do that.
Yes.
So I know people can go ahead, your book's available in the UK and the US, and they can reach you and see your lovely artwork on your website at patriciapapps.co.uk. And so what exciting things do you have in the future coming up? Do you have new artwork that's going to be displayed? I know you probably have a lot going on. It looks like you're a very busy lady.
Yes. Yes, I'm working on some new artworks. I've got one of an angel, which I'm very thrilled with, I find painting as a form of meditation, really. So I've got a couple of angels on the go, and I'm doing some more Egyptian work because I'm very interested in the ancient Egyptians and their philosophy of life. And I'm working on a new angel book called Angels of Prosperity, which I haven't pitched with anyone yet. I'm still working on it.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Well, yeah, that sounds like a great book. You'll have to let us know when it's ready to be published and you're ready to really talk about it. That sounds like that would be fun.
Yes. I find working with angels has been very helpful throughout my life when I've had problems, especially with money. I find that working with angels has usually brought some sort of brought money into my life, brought abundance, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be a very good idea to put my findings into a book.
Oh, I can't wait to see that one. Patricia, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us today. Gosh, we so greatly appreciate you spending the time here with us and talking about Angels of the Zodiac. And I highly recommend everyone go pick up their copy. But thank you so much, Patricia.
Well, thank you for listening to me. I hope I've made sense.
Oh, it's been a fabulous time. I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time to tune in today. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne. If you'd like to learn more about these authors and upcoming authors, please visit momentswithmarianne.com. And also feel free to check out the book club. Every month we've got a great list of books that come out. Angels of the Zodiac is definitely a book you want to go and pick up. It's got great resources in it. Patricia really did a fabulous job on that. And make sure to connect with her on her website at patriciapapps.co.uk. So anyway, I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time to tune in with us today. And remember, make every moment count.
Join us next time for Moments with Marianne, when host Marianne Pestana brings another inspirational gifted leader to help us grow. Tune in every second Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Moments with Marianne, when the Dream Vision 7 radio network is at 1510 a.m. Boston. Or catch Moments with Marianne every Thursday and Friday at 5 p.m. and 5 a.m. Eastern Time by going to dreamvision7radio.com. To learn how Marianne started her business from the ground up, visit mariannepestana.com. Don't miss this, and remember, make every moment count.